It's Thursday, not Wednesday. Sorry I was busy yesterday. It's a...
New week of old comics.
Let's look at Hellblazer, let's look at Conan, let's look at, Osamu Tezuka, let's do it! Follow us on Twitter, Instagram.
Hello, we're gonna jump right in this week with, this bad boy. This beast just came in, finally.
Hell yeah!
I waited for it to go down in price a little bit, you know. Times are tight, so when I saw it about half off, had to jump on it. I gotta, first thoughts is this is a little disappointing, the DC Black Label. Like, I think Black Label's cool. I mean, this was a Vertigo book when it came out, and it's just kind of this rebranding that, I think is a little, I don't know. This is the Garth Ennis Omnibus of Hellblazer. Notice they dropped the John Constantine at the top of this. I like the Garth Ennis run okay. It's not my favorite. I think I prefer Jamie Delano's. I prefer Brian Azzarello's. I prefer Mike Carey's. I prefer Peter Milligan. I prefer anything that Simon Bisley drew. Before I prefer the Garth Ennis run, but a lot of people like the Garth Ennis run. It's not as strong as his Preacher work, but it's still pretty good. I'd say his Preacher work and his Punisher stuff is still better than his Hellblazer run. Let's take off the dust jacket here. Get a good look at this thing. That big, thick spine. This thing's huge. Over 1,000 pages. This was the cover that was advertised. I'm glad they didn't go with it because I don't really like it. It's got some really weird hair there. The Glenn Fabry covers, of course. Starting with 41. Again, nowhere with the Vertigo. Let's see if we can find a Vertigo logo on one of these covers. Or if they totally rebranded it. This isn't my favorite Steve Dillon work either. It's good. This is the Fear and Loathing storyline. But, I don't know if it's maybe the colors are a little off. Like, you know, the Preacher colors pop. These colors are a little muted, a little washed out. Pastel. Let's look at the DC. I'm going to start putting the Vertigo logos. See if we can find a Vertigo logo anywhere. Here we go. I noticed that a lot of Steve Dillon's work, like if you look at Steve Dillon and then you look at like the faces he draws, he like the heavy eyelids and stuff. Like, it looks like Steve Dillon. Rest in peace, Steve Dillon. You know, this is one of many collaborations with Garth Ennis that he did. But yeah, I mean, it is some good stories in here. It's been a while since I've read them, but again, I think I prefer the Peter Milligan. I prefer the Brian Azzarello. You know, I like High Water, Stations of the Cross. Those before this, but this is exciting. This is. I hope they do this with more of the. They're just now reissuing the collections of the latter run, which has all the Bisley stuff in it. I think they're up to 22 or 23. I don't know, I have to check. But yeah. Next, I thought we'd take a look at some Osamu Tezuka work. This is one he did, I believe, in the 70s. Yeah, this is the Book of Human Insects. It's, if you've read Junji Ito's Tomie, which I found out it's Tomie, not Tommy. If you enjoyed Tomie, this is similar in that it's about kind of a, for lack of a better word, femme fatale. You know, a woman of, you know, exceptional beauty who ruins all who come in her path. It's not a horror like Junji Ito, and it's not really supernatural, but it's a story of a woman who everyone's path she crossed, she kind of ruins. You know, selfish, but at the same time, everyone's attracted to her or drawn to her in some way. It's kind of broken up into 4 different like parts, kind of 4 different characters who she kind of ensnares, and it's all done in Tezuka's you know, kind of cartoonish style. You probably know Osamu Tezuka from either Kimba the White Lion or Astro Boy or his Metropolis that he did. It's kind of jarring at first because it's very cartoonish, but the subject matter is pretty adult. But you know, it ends in a sad story. Worth checking out if you like manga, if you like kind of thrillers. It's a little bit of a thriller, not too much. It's not paced that way. It's got more of kind of a incidental pace. But yeah, Book of Human Insects, worth a look. Finally, I thought we'd take a quick peek. I promised we'd look at the Joe Lansdale and Timothy Truman Conan. Previous week we looked at the Jonah Hex stories they did together. This is their Conan story. Now, it's creaky because I had to kind of re-glue this binding back together. It's a used copy. This is a Dark Horse copy. Marvel's going to reissue this at the end of the year in a collection, an epic collection. So I might rebuy it then, just because the binding of this is kind of falling apart. It's not as good as their Jonah Hex stories, but it's still a pretty good Conan story. It's that kind of brutal fucking fight Conan. He fucks a genie in this. He's, fucking genies. Chopping off heads. Not taking any bullshit. If anyone knows a better way of binding, kind of re-gluing bindings, let me know, because I have a few books that I've purchased used that could use a bit of that touch to fix, including this Conan Songs of the Dead. I believe they did this after they did their Jonah Hex stuff, but I still think their Jonah Hex stuff's a bit better. I also read, I'm on a Conan tip, so if anybody knows of any good Conan stories they'd like to recommend, let me know, because I'm on a Conan kind of binge lately. Doing research for the next book I'm working on has a character similar to Conan, so I'm just looking at ways that Conan is used in different types of stories. This is Gerry Dugan's. This is the new Marvel Conan, so it's a little PG-13, but it's still Conan slashing and fighting, and I think the fucking is implied, but not shown explicitly. The artwork's really good in this. I don't mind it. You ever know they kind of draw his hair a little more naturally, but here it's like he's got bangs, and I wonder, does Conan cut his own hair? And if so, why does he always go with the bangs? Is it just a matter of putting the sword there, giving him a chop, or is that a Sumerian style? This story's alright. think Gerry Dugan's got a good handle on the character. It's about him taking on a cult. Looking for a treasure. You know, simple Conan stuff. Nothing, it's not that deep. You know, just simple adventure stuff, but it's really good. It's recommended if you like Conan. I haven't read the Jim Zub stuff, and I haven't read much of the other Marvel stuff, but the Savage Sword of Conan is pretty good. That's it for this week. Sorry it's a short one this week. Kind of busy. If you have any recommendations, just put them in the comments. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that's @PlagueChild at Twitter and Octopus Avenue on Instagram. I post artwork and stuff, panels from the upcoming graphic novel I'm putting out. Other than that, stay safe, everyone.
Tonight's program has been brought to you by